Fateful Findings is a 2012 film starring Neil Breen and written and produced and everything by Neil Breen. Let's see what Wrestling Guy and Otakun had to say about that.
So now that I've seen two films by Neil Breen, I don't get it. And I just don't. Is this just a thing now where they give these crazy auteurs the ability to make films and they just splooge all over the place and we're just supposed to accept it as genius? Because I don't get it. It's poorly acted, it's poorly directed, the scenes are stupid, a lot of them don't go anywhere. They don't. What was the ghost shoes? Was that him? I still don't know. Was that him? I So the plot of Neil Breen to Electric Boogaloo is that he is. Did they even say? Oh, he's writing a book, and then he's walking down the street and he gets hit by a car, and then he is in a hospital, and they're like, "Oh, it's bad. He's in a coma." And then he gets up and goes home and showers with his like Elephant Man mask on. And I'm sorry, Otakun, you're gonna get mad at me for saying this, but yes, they had his he had a face bandage on with the breathing apparatus over top of that, so not actually going into his nose or mouth. So because that's how air works. So he goes home and he showers with the like grotesque amount of blood. And then his wife is like, "Why are you here? Shouldn't you be in the hospital?" And he's like, "Oh, but I want to have sex." So they do. And then they have these neighbors, and I don't know if we ever got their names. So I'm going to call the one guy Drunky McFuckface. I'm going to call the other one Stupid Jerkass. So Drunky McFuckface is a drunk, and he's mad at his wife Jerkass because she won't have sex with him, and he drinks all the time. And then she's mad at him because he doesn't seem like a very nice person to live with. And then moving on, after that, he finds his long-lost friend that he knew when he was about 9 and the magic D6 they have, and then ghosts, and I don't think any of that's ever explained. And he's got this old lady shaman that he goes and sees, I think. Although at the end it might be implied that she was never there either. So, yeah, I don't know. I I will give him this. I can't even say I dislike it. It's different, but I don't know. I don't know.
So we have the answer. They were everybody was dead the whole time. He's still in a coma. So you're welcome. I figured out this movie. Actually, I didn't figure it out. It was Kara figured it out.
It was
So,
Cinephile.
Cinephile figured it out. So good job. You understand Neil Breen
I don't
better than
think-
anybody in this room.
That's
she
not
only
really an accomplishment.
And she only saw about half of this, if that.
That doesn't
Oh,
seem like
gosh.
an accomplishment. I'm a little sad now.
So
I'm
while
sad.
Wrestling Guy told you the story and the plot of this film, I will take it upon myself to judge it on its technical aspects, as I am wont to do. It's not good. Now, granted, this movie has better technical aspects as far as audio mixing than the first Neil Breen movie we saw, but thankfully it done this. This is like 10 years after the first one, so I'm sure he would have figured out at some point that you want to put some kind of audio at the very least in your movie when there's no music or talking happening. So good for him. I'm glad he learned that. It's one of the first things you have to learn, so very good. But it doesn't make it any better. The worst offender for audio technique, at the very least, is in the very end of the movie, where it's very clearly he has a sound clip of people applauding, and he plays that back to back incessantly. And then when he wants to start talking again, he immediately cuts it. So it's like clap, 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 yay! And it's just gone. And that's not good. You probably should mix it a little bit so it like fades out or something. Or find a shorter clapping clip. Wrestling Guy didn't mention the end at all, but I feel like I must. There is a point where he is standing on a green screen in front of what looks like a library of some kind.
I forgot about that.
And he's giving a press conference. And instead of using another shot or a different background green screen for the people who are going to be reacting to this, a senator, a person who works for an insurance company, the manager of the bank, they are all standing on the exact same green screen with the exact same background. So when it cuts from Neil to these people, there is no change to the background whatsoever. It's just Neil disappears and these people appear. And then they all, one by one, say, yes, my company, like many companies, worked in greed and we did bad things and ruined the environment. So I am going to quit as the CEO. And then he shoots himself promptly in the head. And the other guy's like, I am a senator who did bad things for the people, and I call for all other terrible senators like me to step down from their position of power. And then he goes hangs himself. And then the one lady's like, I'm a stateswoman and I was not good, a congresswoman, and I did not good things. And then she goes and she gets in her car and she gasses herself to death with the exhaust. Without any of the hose. So basically she rolls up the window and just gasses her garage, and then I guess she dies from just being bored to death by the movie. I don't know. So, yeah. As far as other aspects of this go, editing is still extremely confusing. At one point, Neil and his wife or girlfriend or whatever are sitting at the table having a sitting in the living room having a conversation about how she needs to go into rehab. And then that conversation ends, and you can tell because there's like a good 30 seconds of silence. And then it cuts to Neil in his office, as he often does. And then she's in there too, and she knocks a book off his table and she says, I'm done talking. And yeah, we know because you weren't talking in the last scene. So editing could be a little bit tighter, Neil. But hey, you're getting there. This is a vast improvement over Double Down. Good job.
What a story, Mark.